3 minutes early, better than 10 minutes late. I just wanted to go ahead and get started since I'm here and raring to go. It's my favorite time of the week, Ask Away with Coach MK. I'm MK Fleming. I'm the founder of the Fitness Protection Program, and I coach all of the programs that I wrote at least all the programs that we offer at Fitness Protection. One subscription gets you access to programs that will meet you where you're at every stage of your running journey. And we're going to be taking questions from them one by one tonight. But before I go too much further, apologize for being all hunched over and rubbing my hands. I don't know about where you are, but here it got cold. It got real cold all of a sudden. And that unfortunately all of a sudden happened while I was outside with my kids at a park. It was in the 60s, and then next thing I know, it was in the 40s. And I was not dressed for that. I went for I would think of it as a waddle this morning. It wasn't. It started off as a run with my run club, and then it very slowly trickled back into a walk because the air from the wildfires nearby and the smoke was so bad, so acrid. We just were like, we're 2.5 miles out. We just walked the 2.5 miles back. Ended up being a lot of fun and a really great walk. But remember, it's better than nothing, and it's better than trying to push yourself during a period when your lungs are not functioning exactly the way that you would want them to. So if you have any questions, feel free to throw them in the chat. I will be putting those questions up on the screen and answering them as we go. But for now, we're going to start off with a little chat about a reminder that when your lungs ache, that's your body telling you something. It's telling you that that your lungs can't do their job very well, that they are filtering out things that don't belong in your lungs at all, and that you really don't need to push it. So if you are worried about losing your fitness right now, that's valid. I get it. But congratulations. Like, if that's the only thing you're worried about losing, that is one thing we absolutely can get back at Fitness Protection once the literal smoke clears. Try to worry about it as little as you can. Try to exercise indoors whenever that's possible, and make sure that you have an air purifier in every room of your house if you live here in Colorado like we do. It has just been gross lately. Really, really gross. Second thing, it is darker now. Not only is it a little bit colder, it's a little bit darker in the mornings, darker in the evenings. If running in the middle of the day during this period is not accessible to you, it's time to bring out the knuckle lights, the waist lights, the Petzl headlamps, whatever you got, make sure that you have it and that you're using it. Another thing that seems a little bit off the beaten path, if you just don't like any of the options that are out there, go to a hunting store. One of my favorite running caps, it was designed for hunting, and it's a baseball cap with a little rechargeable thing in the back and lights all around the front. And boy, I can light up the night with that hat, and I love doing it because it's a whole lot better than trying to run with something on my hands, which I don't love doing, or something bouncing around my waist that doesn't provide quite enough light, or the headlamp, which for me is always pointed towards the sky instead of towards the ground. The light is never where I need it to be unless I'm wearing one of these hunting caps. So go check out Cabela's or any gun store near you. Odds are pretty good. If they carry the stuff that you would need to go do damage hunting, then they're probably going to have something that'll keep you safe running. Final note on that, this is also the time of year when women start asking me questions about runner safety, and I get it because bad things happen in the dark, even though we try to convince our kids there's nothing to be scared of. We act just as scared when we get ready to go outside at 5:36 in the morning when there's no sunlight to keep us warm and, well, literally lit. Just a reminder, there are lots of things that you can do and lots of good options as you start to sort through them. One of my favorite is called a screamer. It's by Sabre, S-A-B-R-E. It is the choice of weapons that police officers use. So any police officer supply store, just about every town has one. You've got Army surplus. You also have police surplus. A great thing to do, those Sabre screamers can let off sound that can be heard up to half a mile away. You can also get a bear horn. They're bigger, but they loud. So anyone coming near you, you will blast their eardrums out if they get really close. And the good thing about a screamer or a bear horn is that there is no assault charge that could go along with using it. If you have a baton, if you have a gun, and I know a lot of people do, and I'm not trying to deprive you of your Second Amendment rights, I'm trying to remind women to find that balance between what makes you feel safe and what can actually happen to you in a moment where you have to practice self-defense. We are seeing more and more cases of women fighting back, and then the police arresting them. At least we have been seeing that here in Colorado. So it's just something to think about before you go out the door. Bear horns are great. Anything that emits a sound, no matter how strong and powerful that sound is less likely to have a police officer saying to you, well, why were you carrying this in the first place? Looks like you were asking for trouble. If you're a trail runner carrying a bear horn and somebody comes up behind you, that's kind of their problem. If you are running anywhere with one of those, it's called the claw, I think, where you can come at them like, I need to watch X-Men. I've never seen X-Men, but come at them like Wolverine. That's an assault charge. If you have a taser, assault charge. If you have a stun gun, assault charge. So all that just to say, the things that I carry, the things that I prefer, are the things that make noise. And some of these noises, again, are so loud, they are actually debilitating to the human ear. But so far, no assault charge. There you go. Bear horns. You can get them at the same place that you go hunting, because we do know how to do some things well and skirt the law while we do it down south. Thank you, Smith County, Tennessee. Now, moving into the meat of all this, once you are safe and you are lit and the people around you are standing at least half a mile away, you might be ready to go for a run and have some questions about that. That's what I'm here for. Can't say I have all the answers, but I talk real good, especially when I'm talking to grown-ups or to myself and not having to tell my children why it's so cold and why they don't have to go to school tomorrow. But yes, they do still have to go to bed because the rest of us have to work. Oh my gosh, who does that? Who does that? Anyway, here we go. This has been a much more, I don't know about you, if this has been a more successful week of running for you, throw it in the chat. I would love to hear about it. I had a better week of running this week. I was able to get out way more because the air was cleaner in these previous few weeks. I think I logged like 15 miles or something like just crazy like that. And there was still a lot of walking involved, partially from the lungs, partially from, just being general out of shape and being not exactly where I wanted to be. But where I wanted to be more than anything else was out in the world moving. And I got some of that, which is really terrific. So as I pull up this document and go through the questions, first we're going to attack the weekly wins, count up all the wins for all our runners, starting with mine. Yay, I ran more than I did the past 2 weeks combined, and hopefully with the weather changing and some of the wildfires being under control, at least around here, or more under control than they were, I'm very hopeful that we'll be able to get more done, especially now that it's cold. I much prefer running in the cold than in the heat. I don't know about you, but it's just easier to get motivated if I can put on layers, run out the door, than if I run out the door and know that I'm going to be hitting heat and humidity, because that's just my idea of Hades. So Erin was excited to get in a lunch break walk on a gorgeous day because of a work cancellation. That's awesome. We're excited for you. Amanda Bailey got in her 30-minute easy effort run in some rain. That sounds really pretty, but actually enjoys dark, warm, rainy runs. Who doesn't? That sounds nice. I had a run like that once in Philadelphia, and I still remember it. It was such a great run. When you have one of those moments that isn't remarkable because it's just like off the charts, spectacular fireworks, but it's like, man, that was just really, really good. Really, really good, surprisingly good, can stick in your mind for in a really long time. And I still remember that run that day in Philly in warm spring rain, and it was fantastic. Christine is still getting her lane 1 workouts in, even though she's having a flare up and is in pain. I saw that all week. I'm so sorry for you. Right after we brought Christine on to talk about how she has been managing pain, chronic nerve pain, for the past few years. And she was finally in a place where she was able to start moving and running again the way that she wanted to. Of course, within a week or two, it kind of gone the other way. Now, the interesting thing, and this is something I like to remind everyone, that most pain and most nerve flare-ups are related to inflammation, which is related to cortisol, which is related to stress. So there is definitely a connection there. And even though it sounds so hokey to be like, well, just try to de-stress and meditate and relax when you can, I'm like, take the relaxation. There's this very American tendency to shame ourselves as though, like, idle hands or the devil's playmate or something like that. I don't know. It's really stupid. People used to say that when I was growing up, and I tuned it all out, because being idle is kind of really amazing, especially in a period when we are all pushed to do way too much. So if you are on the couch watching Kardashians, good for you. If you are watching Enola Holmes like I did last night and again this morning with my kids, good for you. Whatever floats your boat or just brings your world to a grinding halt in your brain as well, let's do more of that. You're not going to need less of it going forward. As much as you can, avoid the shame of saying this isn't good enough of a hobby or not the best way to relax. Not to say that that the flip side of that is not saying your pain is your fault, but part of pain management is always going to be relaxation, the things that decrease cortisol production and can have a positive impact on inflammation. So sometimes if that's all you can do and that's all that's available to you, please grab it without shame. In Maintain, Sarah Seberg did her first strength class in a long time and is feeling the burn, which I know you love because no one loves earning or doing things, hard things, really scary things. Like my brain goes numb when I think about what you, Sarah, and Nakia do. Coach Nakia, by the way, like just dropped on me the other day that she's trying to become a bike instructor. And I'm like, 2? Why? You already do like weights and TRX and running, and that's just like a lot, and all of that's hard. The body weight stuff is hard. So much respect for people who like lifting heavy things. I do not. I mean, including that cast iron skillet. That's why I don't ever make dinner. I make my husband do it now. Yay. Dan Felton's move is finally official. The movers brought his things from New York City. Dan is now in the deep South. Dan, guess what? You got hunting stores where you is. Go check out the hunting stores. Get yourself some bag balm because you're going to get chapped in a humid winter. Go get yourself one of them light up hats so you can see in the dark when you go for runs. Plus, it looks really cool. And they have options other than camouflage, even though I'm sure you look amazing in camouflage. You're going to get to live the life, dear. I can't wait to see the pictures on Facebook and on Instagram. Please share them all with us as your new reality in North Carolina becomes our entertainment. We need it right now. And Trisha celebrated her kid's 15th birthday. I love that. What's funny is that I took a picture this morning. I walked past a used bookstore, and there's a book called How to Keep Your Teenagers Out of Trouble and What to Do When You Can't. And I felt like that I had to send that to a few friends of mine with kids who are older than mine. And I guess I have to send that to you as well. Happy birthday to your 15-year-old, Trisha. Woo! All right, now we're moving on to the questions and the programs. We're going to start with the questions in Rebuild, which is a program that we designed for runners who want to rebuild the running habit or their running bodies. Anyone who's had fitness in the past or modicum of training in the past who does not consider themselves new to either running, fitness, or just working with Coach MK, because the way I do things is a little bit different. This is the program for you. And then I'll be taking questions from the program Maintain, which, as you might guess, is for a program with anyone with a modicum of fitness that they would like to maintain. So first, taking questions from Rebuild. I just found out that I am ever so slightly anemic. I've started an iron supplement regimen, but was wondering if you had any advice on how to handle my workouts until my levels are back to normal. Thank you. So when it comes to iron, and this is a thing for women, if you get that app, Fitter, FITR Woman, and it tracks our menstrual cycles, that can have a huge impact on iron availability as well. So in order to build muscle, in order to metabolize oxygen in your blood for energy, you need iron. So when your iron is low, you are less able to do that. You're less able to you're less likely to feel energetic because your body can't use the most available energy source in your body in any way. So the way I would handle it is being mindful and try not to shame yourself, because shame is such a huge thing. I know most runners come to me and they feel like they have to do more in order to get what they want, when the answer is usually we need to just do less differently. And that's never been more true than it is when you're anemic, because literally nothing you can do is going to move the needle in a positive direction other than resting and increasing your iron intake. It takes anywhere from a week to 9 weeks to really make a noticeable difference in the iron levels in your body, because it's a cumulative effect. You build up your iron stores. You should start to feel a whole lot better right away, especially if you can get a shot. I would add B12 to it as well. B12 and vitamin C both will give you a bit of a boost. You can buy really great options now. Noon has options, I think, in most running stores and online. There are also immunity drinks that are really terrific. So take notice of that one. Number two, make sure that you are staying hydrated, because people who are anemic tend to dehydrate also really, really easily. And number three, remember that whatever you're feeling is temporary and fleeting, and it is not going to impact your fitness long term as much as you think it will. I know it becomes unnerving to see that fitness number falling in Training Peaks, and I promise you that's not what that number means. It's not a raw measure of fitness. It's a measure of stress that your body is currently under. And when that number is low, yay! That just means you're not stressed out. It tells us nothing about how long it will take to get back to a place where you feel good. So the more we can avoid that data and just focus on the signs that our body's giving us, the better we're going to be in the long haul. So less is more. As long as you're moving and without pushing, that's how I would handle pretty much every workout. So that's all the questions for tonight. It's a light week, and I get it. There's so much going on, and but I'll take it. At least thank you for showing up, and thank you for asking questions and giving me something to talk about tonight and a reason to step away and talk to grown-ups. It's great. Thank you for the feedback last week about the running schedule. I've been thinking about it, and here's how I think I would like best to structure my week. Run Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Saturday, and off Friday and Sunday. Sounds great to me. With my work schedule on Saturday, the only day I can run longer than 60 minutes in one shot and still meet all my family obligations. How do you suggest I organize the workouts for the rest of the days? So I would shift everything around. You say it's the only day you can run longer than 60 minutes. So your long run then is going to be Saturday, and then off Sunday. Do the Monday run on Monday, the Tuesday on Tuesday, keep Wednesday as is, and then cut Friday right down. If you just want to mimic what you do on Tuesday and do that on Thursday, there you go. Or if you want to take the avocado toast on Friday, cut that down and make that Thursday, that's cool. What in anywhere between 30 to 60 minutes is going to be good. Longer is not necessarily better. And hey, I get it. I know most of you hate the long run sandwich. I feel that. And since we're not training for anything at the moment, I'm sure you heard Sim just canceled and some January races just canceled. Go ahead and brace yourselves. We are probably not going to have a spring training season, and we're probably not going to have a fall one next year either. I truly think a return to some semblance of normal when it comes to the racing world will not be happening. That correction won't be here until 2022. And I know I've kind of introduced that gently in other ways. It's something we need to start wrapping our minds around and saying, how do I keep going without races? One. Number two, if I feel like I'm in a holding pattern until the next race starts, that holding pattern might be a little bit longer than you expect it to be, which is one of the reasons why I'm like, we can be ready, but we don't need to be sharp. That sharpness will get to you after a while. But that's what I would do with the rest of the day is just keep everything as is. Do that long run on Saturday, just like you do. And then either you say you don't like the Friday workout anyway, so we can either take Tuesday and imitate it. What we don't want to do is have two hard workouts back to back. So if you do the Wednesday workout as written, it's a harder, not super hard, but harder workout, then, just don't do that twice and you'll be all right. So 30 to 60 minutes of either easy effort running or avocado toast. Just do whatever you feel. I want you to have that extra time and space to get out of the house and stay out. There are days I definitely want to do that. What I don't want you to do is feel like, well, I should do more because, and then overdo it. So as long as you're not thinking along those lines, odds are pretty good. Every choice that you're making, every choice that you've ever made is a right one. It's not just the right one, it's a great one. So, like I said, light week. Those are all the questions that we had. If you have any more, feel free to go ahead and toss them on in there. Otherwise, I didn't have a whole lot prepared to talk about other than that, about, runner safety, which I certainly don't like thinking about. But I also don't like thinking about the different ways that attempts to defend myself could be used against me. So a long time ago, I made the personal decision to run on city streets pretty much exclusively whenever possible, whenever trying to stick to, because the city streets, even if I'm going early in the morning, tend to be very brightly lit. And number two, bringing all kinds of noisemakers with me, even if it's a little bit awkward. With the increase of unhoused individuals living in my neighborhood, where in recent weeks, we've moved to the bear horn, which is incredibly efficient. I don't love using it. I don't love having to, but you do it once, people remember you, and they stay out of your way the second time. So it can't hurt. I mean, it can hurt. But all things that could hurt, this one is the least likely to bite you back in ways that will just make you want to set things on fire. Hello, Catrice Johnson. You are awesome. I love you, and I'm glad you're here. I really do. Yay. It's been too long. I miss you. Do you really think that we're going to be having any races in 2021? I don't think we are. I certainly don't think I'll have a good excuse to come to Grand Junction, because you guys do the best races out there. I don't think I'm going to have a good excuse to come out there for a very long time. Anyway, yay. You were awesome. This was awesome. Thank you for being here. Stay safe, stay warm. And if you can't run into the light, bring it along with you. Check out a local hunting store, and you'd be real surprised what the options are. The stuff in there is truly genius and easily adapted to runners. You're coached. You are loved. Whatever this week has in store for us, let's just keep winning, because we never really stopped, did we?